What's good, YouTube? It's the youngest chief, and today we got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about the energies currently going on with the masculine and feminine, and also sexuality and sexually expressing yourself to the world, and how it was viewed in ancient times compared to in today's day. So, back in the day in ancient Egypt, in the Egyptian culture, prostitution on the class, like the middle class, whatever, was actually prostitution, and those who that was their job was actually viewed as something very sacred, and they were actually treated very well and taken care of very well by the pharaoh, and they were looked at as divine beautiful beings doing a very sacred act, and one of the most beautiful acts that you could do for expressing yourself to the gods. And in today's day, we have made it something that is very evil, very degrading, very controlling, egotistical, and is very sickening, honestly. And that is what I really want to, like, somehow make a difference in the industry, because obviously if it's gonna be around, you can't stop it. So instead of just letting it continue to be disgusting, evil, gross, how about we start incorporating the sacred acts of treating our partners and our own selves like the divine sacred beings that we are. You know, sexual acts with another person is one of the most intense ways of energy transfer between the people involved. And especially if substances are, involved as well, that only increases the dopamine release and the energy that is being released. So those people having many partners and sexual experiences with um, others, they pick up each other's energy and they hold on to it for a very long time. So those people who have multiple partners or whatever, they start to not understand like their own feelings, their own thoughts, because they start picking up all these other people's thoughts, and they don't know like which thoughts are their own. And you know so it is very important to protect your energy and to understand that this is a very sacred way of expressing yourself, and it should be treated in that way, and not just a common pastime because we're bored, or because you think someone's hot or beautiful. You should be doing it with love, right? You should go into it with the mindset of, I love this person and I want to show them and express to them in a way in which, you know, is comfortable to you in that way. But in our society, we throw prostitutes in. It's illegal. And, you know, if they end up in jail or whatever, how can the American dream, right, be telling people what they can and cannot do with their own bodies, right? That is just what floors me. This is supposed to be the land of the free, right? There is not a damn thing free about America. It is honestly the most corrupt place you could honestly live. And me, I I honestly don't want to live in America anymore. I want to move out of the country as soon as possible. It is a sick place to live, and the government is horrible, and I think it needs to be. I think we need to have or overthrow the government, honestly. I'll be the first one to sign it up. Our government is shit. The way they run things, shit. I'm just being honest. I don't care any high-ranking officials, whoever hears this, I'm sorry if it hurts your ego, but the way you run things is dog shit. Control over everybody, weak. That's the weakest mindset you could have. We're all supposed to be free. Each person has their own experience in life and should be able to do whatever it is they want to do with their life, regardless. Whether it be drugs, whether it be prostitution, whether it be getting an abortion. Don't tell anybody what to do with their body. You know what I mean? The president should have no opinion. The state and church are supposed to be separate, right? That's how corrupt this government is. You know? They don't even listen to their own laws. But, you know, it's whatever though. It just goes to show the type of leaders that they are. And they're not really leaders, they're puppets. They do what they're told because they're too scared to stand up for themselves. And I mean, whatever. I mean, some people don't have courage and strength. Some people are scared to lose their life. I could care less, honestly. But there needs to be a major change. And women and the feminine energies need to be returned and given their power back, right? So that way healing, compassion, and love can take place instead of this control and this mindset. And tell me this, get this. I tried to join OnlyFans 4 times, right? 4 separate times. My application got denied. Like they're for real trying to like discriminate against me. They don't want me to change the way the industry is looked at. They don't want us to see that these people doing these, this form of art are divine beings in their own self, right? They want us to look at them as objects or in a lustful way. They don't want us to see them as people. They want us to see them as, you know, objects or whatever the case may be. But the world needs to wake up, you know? Who cares if somebody sees your naked body? If you are confident enough to show the world your naked body because you love yourself so much and you're confident and that's just what you want to do with yourself, that's beautiful. If you're showing the world your body and you're insecure, but you just want money for it, that's a whole different, you know what I mean? It's all about the intent behind the action, you know? And whether the action go your way or not, it doesn't matter. It's all about the intent behind it. If you always have good intentions behind your actions, good things will come into your life, right? But if you're on OnlyFans trying to, just finesse and, you know, that's a whole different story. I could care less about the money. I'll do it for free. I can give a fuck, right? I want to change the way we look at women and the way that men are viewed as superior to women, and a lot of it is the sexual acts going on in like the videos, you know, like the BDSM and whatever. Like the BDSM is just another way of submitting to men, which I mean, if you want to be submissive to somebody else, that's totally fine if that's what you want. But if you don't understand that humans are animal creatures and that we have animalistic, a nature behind us, somebody doing that to a sub, you release all of your power over to that person, to that dominant person, right? If you want to give up your control of your body and be a slave to an owner, that's totally fine. Some people don't like to be, the lion, or some people like to be, the sheep, the ones who the sheep are also they are needed though. There's nothing wrong with being a sheep. A lot of people are just not leaders, and that's fine. They need to be directed, they need to be guided, you know? A lot of people don't have the initiative to take action and be a leader and, stand up for what they want, A lot of people in the world are followers, and that's just that. It don't matter. Everybody wants what's trendy, right? Well, I like to go against everybody else. I always liked to be different in school growing up because I never really fit in with people. So I had my own things that I liked and enjoyed, and it was considered different or weird or whatever. But, and then when I started getting out of high school, being weird in this, it started to become cool, right? Being different was looked at as something cool, right? All the different color hair, you know, the different color skinny jeans and everything like that, you know? But as society, they want us to be the same so we can conform to their ideas, right? It makes it a lot easier to control people if everyone is thinking the same thing. Because what? You don't have a mind of your own. You don't have your own thoughts. You know what I mean? So, that being said, I like to go against what society thinks because I like to have different thoughts and opinions on things. And I'm not scared to express that. I think my views and opinions are beautiful in their own way. And everybody whose views and opinions are different from mine, I am okay with that. I don't think it's necessarily a wrong thing. It's not at all. But it's wrong to try to control others into swaying or making them believe a certain type of way or forcing them with fear into thinking things or living this type of life or, having these type of thoughts, right? It's almost like ancient times when the Roman Catholics would kill people if they didn't believe in Christianity, right? Which we all understand that that's, you know, the European settlers who came to America, they were those people. You know what I mean? So it only makes sense that those people running the government want you to believe this way because they want control and power. They want domination over the whole planet. They're very close, but they will never succeed. And I know me, like, putting this recording out there is just, it's gonna infuriate them, rub them the wrong way. Because truth is power, wisdom's power, knowledge is power, right? The more truth spread, the more light and love spread, the less and less power and control that they hold on to. And that makes them infuriated. Imagine a woman in the White House. You know how many males in high ranking officials in positions like that they would just lose it. Not even just that, even normal citizens, they still believe, a lot of them still believe that men are superior. It's like, if you really believe that, you clearly don't do a lot of reflection or thinking, you know? It's clear to see that that is a very fixed mindset, right? You don't have a lot of room for, an open mind and changing your views. See, and I change my views daily. What I think one day, I might not think the next day because of new facts and information that I get, right? I don't know all the answers. So I learn as time goes on, right? We're supposed to keep learning as we grow older. And that's why they want you in this routine in society is that you stop thinking. And when you stop thinking, your brain stops growing. Your brain would grow forever if you learn something new every day. It doesn't stop at the age 25. I guarantee it. There needs to be more research done on that, but I guarantee you, if you study every single day and learn something new, your brain will continue to grow because it needs that activity to keep learning stuff, right? It only makes sense. And they are infuriated that these energies are now coming up in the world. They thought that, coming to America and taking the land, genocide, trying to genocide the Native Americans and, destroying everything would rewrite history. Little did they know how karma works. Little did they know the cycles of life in the planet and how everything must come to the surface. Everything. That means the nukes that you dropped, all of the nasty chemicals and toxins and poisons that are radioactive, they all have to come to the surface at some point. Why? Because that is how the earth works. We learned that in science, right? When you create new land from the bottom pushes itself up and then it cycles around, right? Kind of like the medicine wheel, right? There's 4 stages. We are at the beginning of a brand new precision of the equinox, right? The 4 stages in the medicine wheel they've been completed. That's why all of these truths are coming to life. That's why all of this stuff that they didn't want to get out, this information that they wanted to hide forever, that nobody would look into, it would never be found, right? And then people would never people would never realize that these people running our country are very evil criminals, is what they are. They're terrible people. And if you ask yourself, do they really have your best interest? You'll have to answer that for yourself. But ask yourself this now. Did the Native Americans, when they fed and took care of the, settlers when they came across, when they were very sick, had no food, no nothing, were they loving and had the best interest of the settlers? I would have to say yes, right? Those people seemed more loving and caring and like they had the best interest of everybody than the people who murdered everybody for control and power. Again, if you want to be controlled and you want to be submissive to power, that's totally fine. It's okay to have that way of thinking. There's nothing wrong with it. You see what I mean? You see how I can be on one side of the coin, but also see how the other side of the coin is okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to hate, Todd or whatever because he voted for Biden and I voted for, I don't vote. I never will. But if I voted for somebody different, communities are separating because of who votes for who. If you really wanted to make a difference in your community, you wouldn't do it just by voting one time every 4 years, right? Because our votes mean nothing. It is chosen. We vote between two people. It's destined to be who's the next president in line. If you wanted to really have a voice and an opinion and to make a change, you would do it at your town hall, community meetings, right? You would openly discuss your thoughts and opinions with your neighbors, right? And come to an agreement, right? That's kind of like how the Native Americans ran things back in the day. Each tribe around the United States had their own meetings. They elected their own chief, right? Someone who is respected and has earned that position, right? Not somebody that is just given it and then we have to vote. No, fuck that. The whole community in the town selects the most deserving person, right? And then that chief does not have all the power. That chief would meet up with other clans, right, around the United States, and they would have clan meetings with the chiefs to discuss what is best for everybody involved in the whole United States of America. Like all the chiefs would get together, they'd smoke a peace pipe, have a good time, be no hostility. It'd be a very mature way of discussing things, right? In today's day, there's a lot of aggression and there's a lot of it's I'm right. I'm right. I need to be right. I'm proving that I'm right. There's no right and wrong when it comes to making a decision and choice. There's only two options and one may be better than the other. That doesn't mean it's a wrong choice. There are no wrong choices. There are only choices. And one may be better than the other, but that doesn't make it wrong. That just means that's what you chose, That's an experience. And we as humans do our best with the information and knowledge that we have at the time. I'm sure if someone made a decision that they didn't like in the future because of new information that came out, I'm sure if they had the chance to do it over, they would probably change that choice into a different thing, right? Because that's how we learn as humans. That's how we grow. There's no growth if there is no failure. Failure is okay. So everyone claiming that they are right and this is the way to do it, do not listen to them. There are many ways to do it. There's not just one way to do it. And everybody has their own human experience. What I experience, let's say this. Me and somebody else has the same exact experience. I could perceive the experience in a completely different way than somebody else, right? Which one's right, which one's wrong? None of them. They both are right for that person. And whatever somebody chooses to do in their life because that is what they desire and what they want for their life, that is what the land of the free is supposed to be about. We're all supposed to be able to have our own experiences in life. Whether you want to, you know, do drugs, do whatever, you know, that's on you. As long as it's not breaking the main spiritual laws of the universe, it doesn't matter. Those fake made up laws, those laws change throughout time because they're not real. They have no sustenance behind them. The universal laws will remain forever in time because the planets, everything works in the same cycle. We are all connected. If you see what's going on in your life at this time and moment and see what's going on in the collective and in the world, it probably matches up, right? Because we are all having this experience together. We are all connected. See what I mean? But we need to, you know how something so small can make a very, very huge negative impact in the world. Like, let's just say banning abortion, right? That allows for, you know, women. It's not going to be stopped. If somebody wants to have an abortion and it's illegal, they're still going to find a way to do it. That's what I don't, these people in these positions don't understand that people are going to do what they want to do regardless. That's just how it's going to work forever. No one is going to control everybody and tell them what they can and cannot do because nobody here on earth is God. I know they want to be God, they want to play God, they want to control everything. They want to clone everybody and have everybody's DNA and genetics and want to control the weather because they want to be in control of everything. It's so much easier than controlling everything and having to look over every single area? How about just letting go of everything and just worrying about what's going on in your life? If you really want to make a difference, you don't give a fuck what Sarah, Samantha, whoever is doing in their own life. Because you telling them that that's wrong and whatever, and that you can't do this, you can't do that, it's not going to change a damn thing. Those people aren't going to listen unless they want to change, right? The best way to help the world is to help yourself. Instead of telling everybody else and seeing what everybody else got going on in their life, look at yourself. What's going on within yourself? You want to change and make a difference in the world? You would change yourself. Because when you change yourself, you change the people around you. The people around you pick up on the energies that you are giving off, your aura, that energy exchange, right? So they too subtly begin to start changing because they are picking up on this positive vibration and aura, right? So that is the best way to help change the world. And, you know, these stigmas on stuff that, like drug use, like people are looked at like junkies, people who do drugs and whatever. Like they're discredited throughout the whole world for some reason. Like people don't listen to addicts because, oh, that person's just an addict. They don't know what they're talking about, right? I'm gonna tell you this. I've been to 10 treatments. I've moved schools every single year growing up. I've seen a lot of people in life. And I'll tell you this, the addicts are the most real people who have taught me the most in life. They're the most special, gifted people that I have come across in my lifetime. And there's a reason why the devil wants to control them with these addictions so they're not focused on other things. Because those people usually have the most love and light to give, but they just get trapped down this, down this dark road that they are, some of them don't come out of, I always told myself growing up, or like when I got addicted to opiates, that because I was about to try to kill myself withdrawing from opiates because it sucked so bad. I told myself I'd never do opiates again if I get through this, and like I'd never wanted to go through that again because if I did, I for sure would kill myself. And that made me think if that was the hardest thing in my life to do ever. And I told myself if I could do that, I could do anything in this whole world that I wanted to accomplish. I could easily do it. Easily. Because nothing compares to going through that withdrawal. And when you're in that negative mindset, nothing, right? And then I also had another addiction with benzos that led me down the same path. In that time, I actually did try to commit suicide, but somehow, some way, I came back and woke up in my body. You know, I 100% should not be alive right now, so there's a reason why I'm still here on Earth, and it's to relay this message and to speak this wisdom and knowledge and to help the world heal and see in a different way. I always thought growing up that my voice didn't matter, or I'm just nobody. I didn't have a lot of friends or whatever. It's hard for me to meet people because the things that I look at in life and enjoy, a lot of people, you know, they're not into that type of stuff. I mean, there's a lot that are, but it's far and few in between. But compared to the ones who care about Supreme or Louis V or the newest Hellcat, I could give a fuck. I would want the fucking Jerusalem 3 sandals, wooden sandals. That's what I would want. I don't care about nothing materialistic because that gives me no love. At the time I tried to commit suicide, I had plenty of money for myself to live. I had good amounts of money. and I never felt happy. I still felt in this dark, trapped space. Money does not bring happiness. So I learned to no longer seek money out. I no longer put money in the front of my mind like that's what I need because I need to survive. I know that the creator and the source is going to provide everything in my life for me that I need at the time. So even though I don't work a job, I still know that when rent is due, that the money is going to be there. Somehow, some way, I'm taken care of because I have faith and trust in the universe. And that is why it works. Is because I have faith and trust in the universe that I am taken care of, I am protected, I am loved as one of the many children here on earth, just like you are one of the many children, right? What if I told you that I was the Messiah? But hold on, wait a second. Before you say anything, what if I told you I was you? You were me. We are the same, right? If Jesus didn't fulfill that prophecy of becoming this person, do you think nobody else would have? Probably. No, I doubt somebody. If it wasn't Jesus, it would be somebody else. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if Jesus had this potential and this ability and he just wasted it away instead and he chose to work a 9 to 5, I'm sure that position would have been gifted to somebody else, right? Nothing is set in stone in life. We all have our own free will to do what we want to do. You know what I mean? I am not any more special than anybody else. I don't want anyone to view me as anything else besides themselves. I am you. You are me. We are connected. We are the same. We share the same mindset because we are all in we all contribute to the web of life. Think of it like a spider web, right? Each one of our minds is one of those lines in the spider web. Everything we do, all our thoughts, actions, no matter how big or small it is, has a impact on every single person. Whether you believe that or not, it does not matter because it's facts. So when people say that they are just one person and, I can't change the world, you know, I'm only one person, that's not true. That's not true at all. One person can do a lot. Just look at Hitler. He almost conquered the whole world. So one person can do major things. You just have to believe in yourself, believe in your spirit, believe in the source, right? We all come from the same source. We are all God's children. Jesus didn't become that way. There's a reason why we don't hear the stories of his childhood, because Jesus was not a perfect person. He made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But if Jesus helped heal a bunch of people, even though he also made some mistakes in his life, would I still look at him as a divine angel being? Of course I would. Would I care if he smoked weed, but he still healed all these people? Would I consider him no longer an angel? No. Nobody is perfect. There's a reason why mistakes and failures happen. It's because it teaches us lessons and teaches us growth and to grow into a better person. If Jesus was perfect, there would be no reason for him to be here on earth. He's learned everything. You only come to earth to experience something, right? He doesn't have to learn nothing if he's perfect. If he was perfect, he went to bed on the cross. If he was perfect and it like had all that power and to heal and do all these miraculous things, why didn't he just overthrow the king? He had the power to do it, right? This image that these Roman Christians planted in your head about Christianity, if you ask yourself some tough questions and really, really think about it, it doesn't really add up, does it? I don't know, not to me. I see a bunch of flaws in the story. That's just me, you know? My people understood spirituality. We never knew of a person named Jesus. There was an ocean separating the land. We never knew people named Jesus, but we had many, many ancestors that were very spiritual and we knew were connected to a higher power. That is why they wanted to genocide my culture and people. They wanted to rip the spirit out of us. But us, every single person, comes from the source. We all share the same DNA from the source. So that means we all have genetic memory from the beginning of time. That junk DNA that scientists don't know what it is used for or what it does, it has to be activated. How do you do that? Through a spiritual journey, becoming lighter in your spirit, healing yourself, right? Dedication, work. It's not junk DNA. It's DNA that gives you special abilities like Jesus Christ had because he activated it in his lifetime. He dedicated himself to work on his mind, body, spirit, and his soul so that he could become this great person and this divine being that the world needed at the time, right? The reason I didn't go to school to learn any of this, right? You don't have to go to school to be creditable. Just because you're an addict doesn't mean you're discredited. You know, that just goes to show that people judge a book by its cover. You can learn anything in this world from anybody, anything. You can learn a lot just from a tree, you know? A tree shows us that it lets go of all the dead things that it's holding on to every single year in order for new growth to appear next year, right? Or next spring. You can learn a very lot from Mother Earth if you take the time to do it and step out of yourself and your ego to allow yourself to open your mind to different possibilities and realities. Being stuck in a mindset like that, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you would like to experience something different, something more, then try keeping an open mind. It only works if you believe it's going to work. Because if you have a fixed mindset that this is all bullshit that I'm telling you, it's not for you then. You'll never understand it. You'll never grasp the concept because your mind is closed. Nothing can flow into there to stick. It is closed. The doors are shut, right? But if you just think possibility, if you just think that what I'm saying, there's a possibility that it could maybe potentially be true, you know, it could possibly work if you just continue to like nurture it little by little, you know? But that is up to you. That is your experience. Whatever you want to learn and experience in this lifetime is up to you. But how do Christians know that we only have one lifetime, and if you didn't do what you did in this life, you're going to hell? Or if you committed sin, you're going to hell. That's not true at all. If you commit murder, you still go to the same place, waiting to come back to Earth to learn more lessons. It doesn't mean you don't get karma in your next lifetime. There's still consequences for the actions and choices that we make, right? But this hell is the quote unquote hell that the Bible talks about. That is Earth. Earth is considered hell. You know, in my culture, the Native Americans, there is no hell. There's only the heavens above, and there's the Mother Earth. We create our own realities. And if you are living in hell, it is because you yourself put yourself in hell. But I, from my experience, am living on heaven on earth. And that's without any materialistic gains. That's without a house. That's without lots of money. I have very little, but what I have a mass abundance of is love in my heart, which I could outweighs any amount of money. I would never trade my abundance of love for materialistic things. That's not what I came here on earth to experience. None of those things ever did make me happy. If anything, it made me egotistical to people who didn't have it. Because when I got things that were nice, I started to think I was sunning these kids. These kids want to be like me, right? I thought I was bigger and better than them because of I had more than them. Yeah, I had more of an ego than them. That's what I had more of. And that's what I did not like about myself. And I quickly realized that at that point is when I stopped chasing money. I don't want to have an ego. I don't want to think I'm bigger and better than anybody else. I don't want someone else to think that they are not as special as I am. I know what it feels like to have that feeling inside where I think nobody thinks I am special or I have any worth to be loved. Or, you know what I mean? I know that feeling of not feeling loved by anybody. And I would hate for anyone to have to go through that experience. That is the worst thing you could experience in this world. And that is why I try to spread this message and this love and light, is because if I can help someone out of that dark spot, do you know how much that increases my heart space? Like in like appreciation for, if I could help one person that is gonna kill themselves and change their life to becoming and seeing things in a much different way, it means more than any amount of gold, any amount of whatever materialistic things it may be. That's just me. If you came here to experience a luxury lifestyle, that is okay. It's a beautiful lifestyle. There's a lot you can do with money, I'm sure. Maybe I have experienced that in a different lifetime, and that is why or maybe I haven't yet, and it is coming in a different lifetime, or whatever the case may be. Whatever somebody chooses to experience, our soul, we ourselves pick the experience we want to like have on this planet. They're called soul contracts, right? It's your name. Each letter in your name has a numer numerological number aligned to it, and each number has a vibration attached to it. You know, that's how the world's created. And your name tells you a lot about what you came here to learn, if you have karma, the things that you are best at. It can even pinpoint how every single one of the energies in every single one of your months, years, if you do the studying and the work on it, you can figure out which energies are present in your life at every single moment just by your name with the use of numerology. See, truth is power, wisdom's power, knowledge is power. This is why I didn't work a 9 to 5 my whole life, because I would much rather study the hidden knowledge of the universe so I can help gift it to other people. But you see, I don't want to, I never was intending to learn this knowledge to have control and power and to use it for my own selfish needs. You know, hidden knowledge and wisdom should never, you should never charge anybody for any spiritual knowledge or wisdom or anything. Or you should never be forced to. But like in my culture, the Native Americans, if you want some wisdom from an elder or seeking guidance from an elder, you would approach the elder with some tobacco or an offering, some gifts, right? To show your appreciation towards the elder that, yo, I would like your help in this area. Here's a gift for you. Would you please be willing to help me, right? The elder never denies anyone help because they don't have the money to pay for that knowledge or wisdom. That information and knowledge and wisdom that they learned is not theirs to keep. It's everybody's. It's the universe's. So be very careful about who you listen to, who you put your trust in. Be very, very careful. Use discernment. Think about whether the energy exchange is equal. Because if there is a tug and a pull on one side, that means it's not balanced. It's not aligned. It's not in alignment. And I'd be very careful about who I'm taking advice and information from who may not be in alignment. It's very easy to fall victim to false prophets or these people who promise you everything. I can't promise you nothing, but you yourself can promise your own life what you want it to be. I can't promise you anything, but I'm so young in my age, and when I think about the future and how much wisdom and knowledge I'll have as an elder, is just it excites me, but it like just floors me. Information is endless, time changes constantly. We're forever flowing through space, experiencing new energies, new vibrations. So information is always going to change. There's no amount, you can't just learn the whole, no one's ever going to know everything that God does. And that's why when these scientists and stuff make, we don't have evidence or proof that it exists. They don't have evidence that the ocean is however many feet deep, but I know that bitch is deep as fuck. I don't need to measure how many gallons of water the ocean holds to know how magnificent it is. I don't need to know the exact distance to the edge of space to see how amazing and complex and beautiful it may be. I mean, yeah, if I want to do it, like just to do it, I mean, sure, why not? But what is the reason spending millions on it? We don't need when we could be helping so many different areas. I mean, yeah, research and stuff is cool and all, but we don't need to measure the greatness of God. We don't need evidence to understand that this is a very, very beautiful universe, and however it got created, it doesn't matter. We don't need that information because you will never get it. It's not for you to understand. The more you seek out wisdom and knowledge, the more you get lost in the rabbit hole because it's never ending. There comes a point in time when that information that you learned, you have to share with people. Because what is the point of learning all this information and knowledge if you're not going to use it? Or if you're not going to help people with it? I mean, I can see why people would want to use it to their advantage to, you know, be to put themselves in a better position than others. But if they really thought about it, to put yourself in a better position would be to help others. Because when others' lives are running good, your life is running better. Think about if one person had all the money in the world and had all the responsibilities to fix the world, how fucking hard that would be. Think about if one person, think about now if that one person helped others heal and those other people that healed joined along to help heal the world. You see what I mean? Like the bees and the ants. And that's what, like, see, this is where my culture taught me a lot. You can learn from bees and ants and a totem, in that the bugs and insects and spiders and stuff, they mean as much to the universe as we humans do. And humans somehow got this egotistical way of thinking that we are the only ones on this planet that matter. But they're scared that if the bees disappear, we will all die because nothing will pollinate. You see what I mean? Bees and ants that work together get the job done a lot more quickly because they are working in harmony. Things are flowing. Think if the whole planet, all the scientists and research, they combined together to have a better understanding of how everything worked. You know how much in a moment things would skyrocket in consciousness just because all of that combined evidence is being put together? Why do we as humans want to so badly separate ourselves from the rest of, existence? I don't think we personally do, but the ones who are in charge and leading, that's the agenda that they have. For what? The only thing that I could think of is control. There's a famous saying that as above, so below. There's a reason why, the devil wants control on planet Earth. Because if he controls Earth, he controls the heavens, right? Little does he know that love is a lot more strong than fear. It engulfs people way more quickly than any fear. Jesus opened people's heart chakras from just his presence. That's how strong love can be. You know, when people seen Hitler, they probably ran because they were so scared, right? And that's what this planet and existence and human life has been about so far, is divide and conquer. That's what we as humans have grown up to know. There's nothing wrong with that because that's just the way that we have evolved. It doesn't mean we have to stay in that mindset. We're supposed to grow as humans, right? We no longer need to divide and conquer. Why would we need to keep doing that? What sense does it make to do that? We are all smart enough to know that I don't want to go to war and kill other people. Who does? Nobody wants to go to war. The president that puts these people in war does not care about their military. They don't care about the people involved that lose their life. Those people are pawns in their the their game of chess. The leader uses those people in the military as pawns. And then when they get back home, they don't even help support them, give them benefits, help them heal the traumas that they experienced throughout the war. They just throw them aside. Do you think they really have your best interests at heart? Think about it. You think I'm really going to go to war to kill somebody? They threw a Hopi tribe chief, or like a Hopi Native American, in prison for 4 years because he didn't want to go to war, World War II. You see how fucked up that is? You see how you see the people that are running the show now? You kind of understand? Threw the beautiful human being in prison because he said, "No, I'm not going to war to kill other people." It's just like Rosa Parks, though, you know, or Martin Luther King. And you see, there's a reason why all of these celebrities that have information that they want to get out just suddenly die. There's a reason why John F. Kennedy got murdered in that way in front of the whole world, because it sends a message to anybody who wants to speak out about it that they will die. We will murder you in front of the whole world, just like they did to Jesus. I don't care about being murdered. I don't care if somehow, some way, I end up dead tomorrow, whatever. Doesn't matter to me, because our spirit, we have, our spirit goes three places. It can go three places. It stays here on earth. It can go into a, animal, or, plant, tree, whatever. That's another option. And then that's not, yeah. And then the third one, because that second spirit is supposed to be the guide for your next lifetime. And then your third spirit, like the third part of your spirit, goes back into heaven. There's a reason why we have a higher self. It's because our higher self is in the heavens. It is a part of us. That is why when you have a gut feeling about something, or your intuition is telling you that this is what's right for you in your life, your higher self knows because it's in the heavens. It has that information, and you should listen to it, right? And all the information and knowledge that I, you know, relay, I don't want you to just take my word for it and just believe me because, I don't know, it sounds like he's telling the truth, or it sounds like it could be true. No, do your own research. Form your own opinions. Form what works best for you in your life, as long as it's not hurting anybody else or yourself, or if it's not going against the universal laws. Have your own thoughts and opinions. Have your own experience. Enjoy yourself. without fear or judgment of others and not fitting in or not doing what your family wants you to do, not following what the world wants you to be, you know? Because if you go to college because your mom wants you to be a doctor, but you want to be a baseball player, you're going to be miserable your whole life. You're not going to get as much joy and satisfaction out of life because you no longer are doing what you enjoy to do. So, I just want to let everybody know that it's okay to be yourself. And if you have fear or judgment of expressing your true self and you need somebody to talk to or you need somebody to open up to about what's going on, I'm always here to listen. I'm always here whether you want me to, give you some advice or just to listen or just, whatever the case may be, I'm always here. And you can always, send me a message, an email. You can always reach out to me and I will always do my best to help, you know, in the ways that I can. It's clear to us that these people with the money, a lot these billionaires, millionaires, they aren't going to be the ones to help the people. We see that clearly. While we are hungry and people are homeless, kids can't eat, they're starving. Whatever though, to these billionaires, they just bought their third yacht. And it's not even from money they earned. Most likely it's from money that they inherit or that they work together to corruptly gain. Not even because they truly deserve that money. Some of them do. Some of them busted their ass off. Those ones are usually the ones that tend to give back though because they know what it's like to be in that position. But they like to soul swap and exchange bodies because they don't want to die. They want to be God. I want to live forever. They don't understand that being immortal means you die and come back when the time is right. See, I don't have to live forever to know that my soul is timeless. There's no end to my soul. So, those in Hollywood who believe that whatever the case may be, there's ways to live forever that does not involve soul swapping. If you really if you really want to know, that's some information I'm not going to share because that information does not need to be shared. It's for ones who deserve that wisdom and knowledge. And it doesn't involve sick acts against humanity, that's for sure. It doesn't involve slaughtering innocent people for their blood and their organs and all of that stuff. If you would just take the time to learn it instead of, trying to find the easy way, it is there. Those who have done the most sickening acts of humanity, you are forgiven. You've been forgiven. You will always be forgiven. God does not judge. The only way you can really be forgiven, though, is if you can forgive yourself. You see what I mean? It doesn't matter if somebody else forgives you. If you don't forgive yourself, you're still gonna feel like shit. You see what I'm saying? Somebody else's views and opinions on your life has no impact on it at all. If someone thinks I'm a piece of shit and I know in my heart that I'm a good person, that's okay for them to have their opinions and their thoughts on me. It's fair, you know? I'm not gonna make I'm not gonna force them to think this way of me. I could care less what they think of me. Their voices and opinions have no influence on my life. But if I want to be forgiven, truly, I have to forgive myself. And that comes full circle to I am God. You are God. I am you. You are me. If you can forgive yourself, God has forgiven you because you are a co creator of the one source that we all come from. We are all gods and goddesses in the making. But that title and that ranking is earned. It is not just given, it is earned through hard work and dedication and true devotion to dedicating your life to living in a way that serves humanity. That's all I got for you guys today. I don't know, this was a very surreal and powerful message, and it's got me thinking right now, like deep thinking. But I love you guys all dearly. I pray that one day we may all walk in spirit and harmony and help each other. And yeah, I pray that everybody finds what they enjoy in life and that they find the courage and the strength to seek out what they want for their own lives. And I pray that this world heals and becomes a better place because it's possible. If you have a vision or you have an idea, it can be done. It can be created. It can be manifested. And believe in yourself. You have what it takes. For me to get in this position and to have this confidence within myself, it took hard work and dedication. Like I didn't even want to live. I tried killing myself. My life was miserable. I never thought that I would feel this much joy and happiness within myself ever in this lifetime. And that is why I'm so thankful that I'm still alive and that somehow, some way I came back alive or like I came back to my body because I would never have got to experience the better things in life. I never would have known what it was like to feel joy and happiness and love within myself if I would have passed away. So never give up, never lose hope, never lose faith. If you need help, seek it. It's not weakness to be vulnerable and ask somebody for help. It shows very much lots of strength. And these stigmas behind these natural acts as a human that quote unquote we shouldn't show is sickening. Why shouldn't we show it? It's natural. To hide something that's natural and to block it only prevents further things from going wrong. It's not in harmony, it's not in alignment, it's only going to cause problems. You see what I'm saying? I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you have a beautiful life and many blessings. And I wish you all the best and take care.